Hello and welcome to another FreeCodeSession. My name is Jason Bach and let's keep going. I haven't touched this code in I think about a week since the recording of my last episode, but I don't want to get done with this, but I want to make some more progress. I'd actually like to start generating source and I'd also like to start testing. So let's see how far we can get in this one. Or maybe I'll do another one after this. So one thing I just realized is I want my accessible properties not to be indexers. So we're going to say is indexer and okay, because we don't want that. And as I was looking at map generator from inline mapping is that I do get the configuration options because then I can say, hey, did you actually do spaces or not? So, or tabs. So let's follow that. Why not? So what does this keep tabbing to? Okay, let's make a tab here. So we get the compilation knows provider output. And then let's do output like that. Now that's going to screw this up, but that's okay. We're going to want the options right before here so we can follow basically what we did before, like that. And then we're calling that compo blah, 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 blah. These are types, right? Yes, symbols. We'll call those symbols so that we don't confuse that. Okay, there we go. Okay. So now what we want to do, why don't you know what that is? You do now. So we want to say source right left. I really don't know. Source right right. And then I think we say source left. Let's see if those match. And they do. Amazingly, they match. Okay. Now what we do down here is this is something else I thought of, is that diagnostics is actually coming from information. And I think I said in a previous episode, I don't care. You're either going to make source or you're not. There's no right or wrong to this. But one thing I did think of is, do we want a type node that actually has errors or a method declaration that has errors? Let's just move on. We'll cross that bridge if we need to. So what I usually do is this mapping builder. We're going to want to do the same thing here. We're going to want to say var builder is equal to new deconstruct builder. And what are we passing in here? Where did you, there you go. Source destination properties, mapping context. We want the compilation and the compilation and configuration, but you don't know what configuration is. Where did configure? Oh, that comes from here. Okay. And node we can say is type and then declaring syntax references, which we should always have at least one. Right. Now configuration values is also something I think I've created, right? Yes, it is. Another copy and paste, but you know, can I just blindly do this? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. I can call this auto deconstruct. Same thing here. You know, at some point I'm going to have to get my shared library idea all set up because this is ridiculous that I keep copying and pasting all this code. I'm going to do another one in just a moment, but yeah, we need to stop doing that. Stop doing that. Or no, stop saying that. That's right. That's the phrase from The Princess Bride. Okay, so we're going to want a deconstruct builder. And do I actually put that in a, no, I don't. I just keep, okay. So we're going to come here. No, that, okay. Name is that. Now, one thing you just noticed, if you did, is that that file scope namespace comes up right away. I got a little trick from somebody, David Wagner, I think his name is, that showed me you can put, where is that? Here, C# style namespace declaration is equal to file scoped. So not only what that will do now is put the namespace in as a file scoped, but if you currently have files that have the block style, the refactoring that's now in Visual Studio will automatically work so that you can do it across a document, project, or solution. Much, much nicer. I really, really like that. I wonder if there's something like with the styling to say, I am implicitly using, so stop putting in those there that are supposed to be implicitly used. But that's probably a bridge too far. Okay. So if we come here and we go to Mapping Builder, we're bringing all this stuff in, right? And I don't think we keep any state around. We do have the source text is something that we're going to want to have available. But we're going to have public deconstruct builder, and that's going to take a compilation and configuration values. Nope, nope, nope. There. Compilation, and configuration values. Okay. I thought I told you to do that. Okay. So, what's the next thing we want to do? We want to say build. Because why not? So what are we going to build off of? We need to know the type. So we want the I, what are these? These are name type symbols. Okay, so we can assume that. I name type symbol type. And we also want its accessible properties, which we're doing as an array. We really should do a mutable array, right? And that's a mutable array of iProperty symbol. A mutable array of iProperty symbol properties. Okay. And you know what that is now. All right. So we've got that. That's all good. Do we need anything else? What we're trying to get at, by the way, I should just put this up as like a little template, is I think what we're trying to get at, let me check my notes. The two deconstruct methods as all parameters. Okay. So what we want is something like that. Namespace, type namespace, static class, type extensions, and then we make the deconstruct method here, where we just put that type here, and then all the properties. Okay, so that's what we're trying to get to. Okay, so we can just say here, let's follow the same pattern. This .text is equal to deconstruct builder build, where we are, why is it, you basically, I think, just slam everything that, yeah, okay. I don't know why I don't just do this in the constructor, but I just don't know. Private static source text build, all these things. And that's going to have a lot of stuff there. So now we just say compilation val, and it should actually be values. Yes, take that. Type properties. Okay. And we want that to be values. Okay. So then we start just following the pattern that we've been doing before. We're going to probably want the namespace gatherer because of reasons. And you're going to say, what's the namespace gatherer? Well, that's something we're going to copy and paste. because why not? Oh my God, no. Delete. Put it there. Auto deconstruct. And you don't know what the name is because get name. Oh boy. The next thing I'm going to build is, I think I'm getting really convinced on this. The next thing I'm going to build is a shared Roslyn library that has all these things I keep copying, pasting from like these 5 and 6 projects. So I can have all that out there and I can just reference it. Because it's just getting to be kind of a pain. A pain to just keep copying these back and forth. This is what? A namespace symbol. Okay. So we're going to grab that. And we're going to come over here. And we're going to add a folder. Extensions. So we're going to call this auto deconstruct. Extensions. That works. So close that. Now you've got, well, you need that. So you know what that is. And then we're good. We've copied and pasted all the code. Yay. Indent the text writer, you need to know what that is. This is just values. Yeah. Maybe I should have named it the same, but that's okay. Okay, so that's great. So what's next? We're going to want to put in, well, yeah, we don't put it in a namespace. And this okay, this is actually interesting because I think I'm also saying with this source generator, it's only for .NET 6 and beyond, which means it's C#10, so that this is allowable. I'm not going to try to figure out what version you're on to say, are you going to do block scope or not? Okay, so what I will say is if not type containing namespace, if it's not the global namespace, then what we're going to do is say indent writer write write line, where we're going to say namespace, and then yes, we say to display string, because why would we do that if we have a name here? To display string. It seems like a contradiction, but that's okay. So we're going to do that, that, and that. Okay. And this is the type containing namespace to display string. Except, yeah, we're just doing that. Fine, whatever works. Okay. Now at some point down here, we do say source text from code. And code is all of that slammed together. So let's not go too far down the road. Okay. So we'll do that, and then we'd also put in an iWriter write line, because we want to have a space there. Okay. Now the next thing we want to do is say indented writer write line, where we want to say public static class this, except we want to actually say public partial static class that. And what we want to do is also put in the name of the type here. So we want to say type name. Okay. And we are going to put in a method. Okay. What I was wondering is, can you, if they're out parameters, you should just be able to say, I'm just trying to be fancy. Hold on. Let me get through my thoughts here. Indented writer, write line. Okay, we need to put that there. Okay. And then we're also going to need to close it. So we're going to say indented writer indent plus plus, and then we're also going to need a minus minus. Minus minus, there we go. God, I wish the formatting in Visual Studio would actually be decent these days. It's just all screwed up. Oh my God, no, that is not what I want. Stop it. No, I don't. No, I don't. Yeesh. Okay, so we're going to have a something like this. So we want to say public static void deconstruct. We want to say indent, writer, right line. Next up, we want to say public static void deconstruct, right? And the first parameter is going to be this type name self, comma, and now here's where we need to put in all the other parameters, right? So we could say string.join. Let's not var out parameters equals string.join. And what we want to join on is a comma with a space there, right? And we want to actually say out and then the type name. Yes, that we can do. Okay. Not the most efficient. We're going to go through twice, but that's okay. So we want to say here is out. What am I doing here? These are the values. So I want to say, okay, properties dot select. Okay. And what I'm going to do here is a little trick. I think I'm going to do a little trick. I'm first going to say namespaces dot add for that property. We're going to say its type containing namespace. Okay. Then we're going to return out the type dot name, and now we need to give it a camel case version of the property. Okay, this is where it's going to be a little tricky because there is a library called Humanizer, I believe, that you can say to camel case. Let's make this a expression body to get rid of that error. Okay. But there's also this fun thing of when you bring in a library in a source generator, it can get to be quite fun to make sure that you're actually bringing it in incorrectly. So for now, what I want to do is I'll just say, what is the property name? Okay. So those are our out parameters, which we are also capturing the namespaces while we are doing that. So that is the select and then the join. So now we can say here, out parameters. There, now we've got the actual public static void deconstruct. Now what I would like to do is something really simple, which is this. Okay, then say indent writer, indent plus plus, and then we're going to need another one to come back out. What I would really like to say here is indent writer, red line, do this all in one line because why not? What I'm going to say here is a really complicated string. This is going to be all of the parameters. You know, before I do this, let's see if I can actually do this. And what's the simplest way to see if I can actually do this? I don't really have a type in here that has a lot of state. So let's quickly do this to make sure that this is actually possible. We could say public class person public string name get set. We could also say, and yeah, we don't even need to do it as a deconstruct, as a extension method, because that's not the problem. Good enough. Because what I want to say is public void deconstruct out string name out string description. Okay. And now what I would like to say is name description is equal to this dot name, this dot description. And that's legal. Okay, now what's telling me is the nullable thing, but that's not what I'm concerned about right now. So this is actually what I want to do. I want to actually say that get rid of that ID name age is equal to, and then put that on the next line and do that as a and then close it off with that. Then I don't need that. And then, yeah, so that's even a little bit more compact. Perfect. All I need is a deck of cards. So I want to put, here, let's split the screen. I want to put in here all the names of the parameters I just put in. Okay. And so if I say here, string.join, another join, where I'm going to do it by a comma. And then I want to have all the properties, again, select, except this time I'm just going to project the name out. String join, that's that there. And now we say equal to, okay. And now I'm going to do another one of these in here, okay. And this one is going to be, and this should all go in the same order all the time. This should be self dot, no, not there. We want to say self join on those. Another interpolated string. We're going to say self dot, the properties here. Okay, and then that closes that off. Okay, and then that's a string join on all those. And then we just need, and we're done. It's as simple as that. I'm going to put a to-do in here and say, to-do. We would really like it if the parameter names were camel cased. I think Humanizer has this capability, but I'd rather not take a dependency on that. We'll see. Okay, so I think that's it. We do the construct. We have all the out parameters. We do an indent. We do a join for a tuple to say of all the things we put in as property names, we want to reference this one because these should just grab this one. Yeah. And then these would grab from the self, which is that. And that's it. And we are done, baby. We're done. Let's write some tests. We're going to do that in the next episode, though. Next episode, I'm going to be doing some tests. I'm going to do a little bit of work off camera to look up how to do camel casing by default. And then also, or not by default, but just what's a good way to do that. And then I also have to remember if I do camel casing here, I also have to camel case it here as well, which is no problem, but I just have to remember to do that. And then once I get that done, then we'll start writing tests. So I'm going to make the test project set up all ready to go so we can do this. One last thing, though, I think because I'm really close to having this here is we don't need to worry about emit a namespace. We can just do this pretty much and return that and then say, what's your encoding? What is that? You know that now. And we put the nullable enable there because we want to do that. Crud. I need to remember that if the type if that is nullable, and I know I've found that out before, and I'll have to do that also off camera. What are all the things I need to do off camera? Camel casing, test project setup, which I will cover in the next episode because, again, I'm trying to do this as a little bit instructive. But then also nullable reference type. And I know I've done that. I don't remember off the top of my head if, like, is nullable. Because if the property is actually a string question mark, you'd want to know that the kind... Yeah, I've found this before, and I just do not remember his definition. Is nullable annotation. See, I told you. That's equal to nullable annotation. See, I knew it. I knew it. Okay, what we want to do here is say, after the type name, if nullable annotation equals nullable annotation annotated. If that's true, then we want to put a question mark. Otherwise, we just put a string.empty. Oh, is this one? Yeah. Ternaries do not like being in interpolated strings, but no. Not there. Not there. Go away. Just go away. That is what we want if you would just pay attention. And now we want string.empty there, right? Perfect. And so those are the outs that will be up there. The properties are already themselves annotated that way, so everything will match up, and we'll just assign blah, blah, blah. And now we're really, really good. Okay, so now we should have the right annotationing of everything, I believe. Good. So the next episode, I already took care of one of the 3 things on my list. So next episode, I'll see if camel casing is something that we can do relatively easily. If not, I'm just going to start jumping into tests, and we can handle it there or somewhere else. So we're good. I'm babbling. We're good. Thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.